Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Glad to have you guys here. TJ, welcome in. Glad to have you here, buddy. I'm going to get started here in just giving you guys my thoughts about the concerns, not only just surrounding the Pixel 6a in recent news, but also the Pixel A series in general. We're going to have a discussion about the Pixel 6a, the Pixel 7a, the Pixel 4a, and just, I'm going to share my thoughts on the Pixel A series because it is the one that I genuinely back the most. And so it's very disheartening to see, but we can't ignore that Google has a problem and it must be addressed. So as you guys are coming in, if you guys could do me a solid and smash the like button, I would truly appreciate that. Thank you guys so much for doing that. And if you're new to the channel and you just subscribed, thanks for doing that as well. Hit the bell notification so you don't miss a video upload or, in fact, when I go live. So a couple of things to just kind of get out the way while we wait for more people to join in. First off, video release schedule is changing up for the rest of the summer. Starting Monday next week, it'll be Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. A new video will post. So for those who are members of the channel, you guys will actually have access to these videos because, of course, they will be uploaded the day before. So Sunday will be a new video for you guys to get access to ahead of everybody else on Tuesday as well and on Thursday as well. But everyone else should be expecting a video Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. That's going forward. A live stream probably on Wednesdays also. So we'll kind of do that. And it's not just one video. I'll still be I'll still be working on just doing like 2 or 3 videos. What up, B-Tech? Welcome in. Like maybe 1 to 3 videos a day, but it's Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays for those videos to release. So Tuesdays and Thursdays, I gotta take care of some stuff. So yeah. Anyways, we're gonna go ahead and kick the tires and light the fires and just really kind of talk about this. So shout out to the members. You guys are being showcased right there at the bottom. All those names you guys see are members of the channel, and I appreciate you guys for being members. If you guys do want to help with the channel, by the way, like a dono or something, right up there, the QR code above me, and that should get you guys plugged in. No visuals today. Not going to be on camera. I'm just going to talk about it. Just because there's been just some things going on with T-Mobile. I don't know what's going on with T-Mobile service, and so the T-Mobile home internet is just so acting up badly. So I apologize. You won't see me on camera, but I'm here. I'll be reading chats. I'll be talking about what's going on. So the Pixel 6a is the latest of the Pixel A series devices that is getting its battery throttled. And the crazy thing about it is that my Pixel 6, so not the 6a, but my Pixel 6 got this notification a couple of days ago. I posted it on social media to show everybody that my Pixel 6 battery is getting throttled currently at this time right now. So the charging voltage has been changed up on my Pixel 6, as well as the battery in itself. Now, I didn't get the same message on my own Pixel 6a, but I can tell you guys that I more than likely will be getting it. And this kind of correlates with what was said to be released with the Pixel 9a, when I had made mention in my unboxing video. I think, no, not my unboxing video, but my first impressions and stuff like that. If you guys caught that video and actually watched it from beginning to end, then you guys would have known that I've been mentioning about this battery health assistant that was rolling out with Android 16. And this battery health assistant, what it in fact it does is throttle the battery on your Pixel device. So the Pixel 9a, after 200 full charge cycles, meaning that 100%, right? So when you do a charge on your Pixel that is equivalent to the amount of charging the device at 100%, then it counts as 1, right? So you charge it from 50% back to 100%. That's half a charge cycle. The next time you put on a charger, if you do the same thing, 50% to 100%, that is 1 full charge cycle of the 2 charge times at 50%. If that makes sense. If I'm not making any sense, plug it in the chat and let me know, and I'll find a better way to explain that. But yeah, so 200 charge cycles, which means that the device has basically considered that it's gone down, and recharged back up to 100% at 100% capacity. that would be considered, 200 of those, right? So if you let it drop to only 80% and then you charge it back up to 100%, then if you do that for 5 days in a row, exactly the same way, that is one full charge cycle. Anyhow, after 200 charge cycles on the Pixel 9a, the charging voltage will be throttled, and as well as the battery capacity will also be kind of not kind of, but it will be throttled down, right? So if it's 5100 milliamp hour battery, once they begin to throttle that down, you'll probably only be charged up to 5000 milliamps, and then after some more charge cycles, as the battery health assistant feels like that the battery has taken a beating, then it'll go down to like 49.95, and so on, right? Kind of like what iPhones have been doing for a long time, right? Those who have had iPhones, they know this, right? You buy an iPhone brand new out of the box, it's got 100% battery health, and over time that health depletes little by little by little as you continuously charge the phone throughout time, right? Lithium ion batteries, heat is what degrades them. And so Google had put this in place with the Pixel A series, especially after the Pixel 4a fiasco, where those people that had a Pixel 4a some of them were experiencing this really bad issue after taking a system update, and they just saw battery drainage. But the reason why was because the battery in the first place was already, like some devices were already starting to show some issues. So Google thought they could fix that with a software update, which in fact made it worse for some people. Now I can tell you guys my Pixel 4a is just fine. My daughter is using it. When she charges the phone, charges up to 100%. When she's using it, everything seems to be fine with it. I plugged in my IMEI with Google to check to make sure that my device wasn't an affected one. It was not. So I'm good to go. I'm clear with my Pixel 4a, but I can't say that as the same for everybody else. Now, after the Pixel 4a fiasco, we started hearing about the Pixel 7a starting to have battery swelling and battery issues. Okay. I got hit up by some of you guys, had DM me on social media, and you guys are pretty awesome for that. And you were asking me if everything was cool with my Pixel 7a, and I made mention, yes, my Pixel 7a is just fine. I haven't had any issues at all whatsoever. The only problem that I have with my Pixel 7a, and this was way before the Pixel 7a started having battery issues, which was the backing of the phone, the glue didn't seal properly right out the gate. So that's the only issue that I've had, and would have to get it resealed, re-glued down. So I'm just figuring, like if I'm going to have that backing taken off, might as well, double check on the battery, and if the battery, has depleted some, to just go ahead and swap the battery out. But Pixel 7a started, getting affected with that, and I was like, man, this is like getting down and down far worse. And then now recently, there's all the talks of the Pixel 6a and its battery issues. Now, according to what's going on out there, the Google Pixel 6a has experienced reports of battery issues, including overheating and instances of catching fire. What is going on? Okay, so it's basically stating that, it's prompting Google to implement a software update to address these concerns. And the update, which will be mandatory for a subset of devices, including battery management features that limit charging capacities and performance after 400 charge cycles. And by right, people would be like, why is it at 400 charge cycles, but the Pixel 9a is at 200 charge cycles? But you got to think the Pixel 6a came out a couple of years ago, right? So it's well going to be beyond 200 charge cycles going forward. But I mean, honestly, there's those people who's talking about that, the same thing with the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 7a. If you go to Google's website and, support, there is an IMEI checker that would tell you if your device might be one of the ones in the batch of the ones that they've probably investigated and found out was the culprit, like the batch that was experiencing these battery issues. So then if you want to chat after the main stuff, I'm not going to be on like too long. Like after I'm done with the subject, I'm pretty much like done. Unless you got something in tech that you want to talk about, I can squeeze that in. Well, yeah. Actually, you know what? Just stay tuned for an invite, B-Tech. I'm gonna bring you in here in a little bit. Maybe you can get on this with me on this subject right now. But yeah, so the specific battery issues and concerns, right? Overheating is one of them. That's one of the reports, right? Charging issues, software update will reduce the battery capacity and charging speed after 400 charge cycles, which is a measure to mitigate overheating, according to Android Authority. So Android Authority kind of put that out there. Sudden battery drain. So these are things to kind of look for, right? Some users have reported a sudden drop in battery percentage after the March 2024 update, with the phone dropping to 0% very quickly. You got general battery drain, and then you got battery swelling. So these are some of the things that's kind of like been reported about the Pixel 6a. Very interesting, because it makes me wonder, like, is the entire A series, is there something that they're doing when they're manufacturing these devices, when they're putting them together, that's causing this, like these devices like to start showing some sort of weakness when it comes to the battery? There lies, what I think about why the Pixel A series could be in jeopardy, why it could be in big trouble. And like the reason why I feel that way, and I think a lot of people are expressing the same thing when it comes down to the Pixel A series devices, is that if all of them are going to start having battery issues, right? Because the only one that's not listed yet of having a battery issue to that extreme is the Pixel 8a. But if the Pixel 8a starts having battery issues in the same stance, whether it be swelling of the battery, rapid discharging, or even catching fire, then that would literally put the newer A series devices at a problem. Now, one could say, if all the latest A series devices are having battery issues, could it be something with the processor chip? I know that's like the first place people are going to go, because obviously the Tensor G1 to the Tensor G4, all made by Samsung. I really don't want to throw Samsung under the bus, and I'm not going to, because I don't think it's a Samsung issue per se. I don't think it has to do with that at all whatsoever. But it could be. And people are going to really kind of just start to point at that. Could be. Possibly. Might be. We never know. Could it be the type, like the manufacturing plant for the batteries that they're putting into these devices? They may be using, like one company that distributes these batteries and are getting it from them. And if this company, has had issues in the past poorly manufacturing these batteries, there could be a problem. The last thing that the Pixel brand really needs right now is to be kind of like put through the same fire that the Samsung Galaxy Note 7 was put through. You guys remember that? I mean, that phone was dragged through the mud and everything. It was dragged in so badly that someone even made, a GTA mod that allowed a character in, Grand Theft Auto to stick Galaxy Note 7s like it was a block of C4 with a charge, and just, blow things up. And could that be the possible future in GTA? Maybe in GTA 6, people start sticking, Pixel 6s to everything. What up, Oscar? What's going on, man? Glad to have you here. So yeah, a very, very tough spot, for the Pixel A series to be in. It's just one of those things where I feel really, really, really bad. Just in this situation, man, you can't hide the fact that there's a problem. And you got to put, even though I like Google Pixels, I got to put them on blast, because this could potentially, it could hurt people. Let's call a spade right there. It can hurt people. Someone can have the phone in their pocket and go to that issue, and the phone just like catches fire in their pocket and burns them. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. That's definitely a lawsuit waiting to happen. B-Tech, I just sent you a link. If you want to join in, we can talk about this. And what a worse time for it to happen too, because we're on the heels of Google making a shift, right? They are moving away from Samsung as who they use to manufacture the tensor processors, right? They're going with TSMC, which I said in a video that dropped not too long ago. I feel like is part of the reason why Samsung is like all in developing their own AI and kind of like they're breaking up with Google, because Google took their business for their tensor processor somewhere else. I feel like that this is like Samsung's way of like, okay, well, we're not going to build your processor chips anymore, so we're not going to rely on your AI on Gemini. We're going to develop our own, right? Which is fine by me. I think Samsung should be developing their own AI for their Galaxy devices. They can build an AI that caters specifically to Samsung devices and Samsung users, right? The same way as those people out there that kind of want Apple to build its own AI and not be reliant on Chat GPT. So that way, it is in-house, developed AI from Apple, then you'll have the three companies on their own, right? Galaxy AI officially under Samsung, and then you got Gemini officially built by Google, and then you have Apple Intelligence officially built by Apple. That is kind of like where the future of smartphone competitions and future computing is going to. Like AI is like really hooked into a lot of things today. If you have not noticed it, then I don't know, you might be living under a rock. But AI is nearly everywhere at certain points. And just because it's not that level of AI that we expect it to be, right? It's not Skynet building robotic skeletons to hunt down humans. We're not getting that. We're not getting something similar to the horror movie Lawnmower Man, where that guy was pretty much like becoming a computer himself, being taught from this virtual world. If you guys ever saw the Lawnmower Man movies, if not, I would say go watch it. It's pretty cool. Creepy too as well, but pretty cool, right? Guy that's not all that smart, and he's like the neighborhood guy who cuts people's lawns, and all of a sudden he's like he meets the scientist who has this weird computer system that's going to help him get smarter, and the guy eventually gets smarter, but he also eventually goes into a virtual world and eventually pretty much acts as AI. Yeah, we're not at that level yet, but we soon will be. So I'm going to bring in someone right now to just kind of help get a different perspective than just my own perspective. So you guys welcome in B-Tech from B-Tech Reviews. What is going on, bro?
Yo. What's up? B-Tech in the house.
Hey, so Pixel 6a, man. A-series devices are starting to have battery issues. What's your take on it?
Well, I'm not really shocked that they're doing this. I feel like it's like Google's version of what Apple did with their older devices, right? Just because they're inexpensive doesn't mean that they're not going to want you to replace them over a period of time, right? I feel like the max that these companies want you to have a phone is now just like 2 to 3 years max before they start, throwing out those updates when it comes to battery life. And I mean, I get their portion of it. Maybe they want to throttle it so that battery life can technically last longer, but it's I mean for longevity purposes, but I don't know, it hinders the user and it the abilities of what it can do with the phone, right? So I guess it could tick a lot of people off. Like personally, like I would be mad all the time if I bought a phone and a couple years into it they put out an update that basically like makes the battery just a lot worse in general, right? So that means you're having to constantly charge the phone throughout the day, and nobody likes to do that.
So just by me catching what you're saying here, so do you feel like that this is more of like a Google move to get people to upgrade versus them trying to avoid a lawsuit with the exploding Pixel 6a's?
Well, it could be both, obviously. Now I don't know too much about the lawsuit that's happening with exploding 6A's and how many 6A's have actually exploded.
Oh, there's no lawsuit yet, but there's a lot of people coming forward with their device catching fire, battery swell, or just complete drainage, which basically means that so far out of all the tensor based Pixel A series phones, majority of them have a problem except for the 8A and the 9A, which I find strange too. So I mean,
and these are just A series devices. We're not talking like regular or pro devices, are we?
No, we're not talking about nothing reported on the flagships or the pro models yet. Okay. I did get a battery throttle warning on my Pixel 6 though, so that's what got me like figuring out what like trying to figure out what's happening, because I got a comment on one of the videos. I was like, yo, Pixel 6As are having battery issues just like the 4A and the 7A, and I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on here? But at the same time too, I was using my Pixel 6, and then a notification popped up, and it's like my battery's now being throttled. Okay. I'm like, oh crap! Like, I mean, it's not noticeable. I'm still getting nearly the same amount of time on it, but I'm just like, okay, is this affecting the flagships too? This is what I want to know. Yeah. Or they're just doing it like, you know what? Let's just be safe. Let's do it to all of them, because technically, the new battery health assistant that came in Android 16 was going to do this to all Pixel phones.
Oh, well, that's interesting. I haven't really noticed something too crazy when it comes to my Pixel 7 Pro. Right, that's the last Pixel phone that I've gotten. Since they stopped sending me phones, it's a couple years back already.
Yeah.
So very interesting that you mentioned that. I just really, I feel like I don't use the phone consistently enough to notice that, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Let's see battery.
I mean, you would get a warning. So like you would actually get like a notification pop up identical to what I think I posted it on Threads. So if you go to my Threads account and look, you might see the screenshot where it specifically says that like my Pixel 6 was getting throttled, like the voltage of the charging was getting reduced, and the capacity was also getting reduced.
Yeah, I'm looking at like some of the settings right now, and I mean, I see something called adaptive battery. So let's see, extreme battery saver, standard battery saver, adaptive battery. There we go. Let's see, battery usage, battery saver, battery share, battery health. Let's see. Let's see, charging optimization, yada yada yada. I mean, I don't see anything too crazy. Yeah,
I think so. The way that this thing activates is like, for instance, like on my Pixel 9A, I'll know when it's activated once I've passed 200 charge cycles.
Okay.
For the Pixel 6A, you would have to pass 400 charge cycles, which I'm pretty sure I did. So that's why I got it. My Pixel 6A didn't show this notification yet. So,
well, I think it's pretty interesting because it's like, okay, you have the Pixel 9A and it's gonna activate after what you said, 200 charge cycles. You said, right? Yep. So that's basically like, within the first year of owning the phone, right? I would assume that you charge the phone at least once every couple of days or every day and a half, most likely, right? So it's like,
about a day and a half. I mean, well, if I let it go down to 0, but like, there's just days where I'm like, you know what, just for the hell of it, I'll throw it on my wireless charger. So it could be like at 80% and I charge it back up to 100%. Yeah. So I don't know, man. I'm just like, the thing that worries me is, with Google doing all these things, right? Throttling the battery and all that stuff, which is fine, protect me, make sure I don't catch fire with my phone in my pocket. Mm-hmm. But I wonder, are they going to find the underlying problem that's causing this? Because this right now hurts the Pixel A series devices.
Yeah.
And it could definitely hurt the progression that Google and its Pixel flagships have made in the last 2 years, putting it back to, like 5 steps back to where they were before, where they were still trying to fight for market share. Nowadays, you got a lot of people that know what a Pixel is. Now, I guess since they disbanded Team Pixel and decided to go with, influencers on Instagram and other social platforms to have them try out a Pixel, like, yeah, I can see why they made that decision. It's gotten some popularity to the Pixels, but this could definitely set it back 5 steps when the non-techies are gonna like hear about this and be like, oh, these phones are catching fire, so they're gonna think every one of them is catching fire and
Right.
post about it. And it's so sad to see this from Google. Like they need to fire their quality control people. Or whoever they're getting the batteries from, like whoever's manufacturing them and selling it to them in bulk, they need to go with a different vendor, because
Yeah.
this ain't working, man. This ain't working at all. Like, holy crap.
Well, I always say it like I feel like there's no perfect smartphone manufacturer out there. Some are always going to have faults when it comes to their devices, right? It's just you have to pick the phone that you like with the least amount of faults that you can actually, or at least the faults that you can deal with, basically, right?
Yeah. Man.
So I mean, who knows?
I get nervous because if it grows beyond the Pixel A series, and let's say it grows to the Pixel Watch, that's a little bit of a different thing now, because the watch is strapped to my wrist. It's not like I could like, I mean, I probably could quickly, disassemble the strap and toss it, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get burned. I mean, so I don't know if you remember the podcast we did a couple years back where we had CV Tech on here with us, and he made mention that his Pixel Watch Gen 1 kind of like, it did this weird allergic reaction on the skin, almost like it burned his skin. Do you remember that?
No, I don't recall him mentioning that, but I mean, I even had the original Pixel Watch. I don't recall, any, any overheating on the watch specifically.
Yeah, like I didn't have that issue, and like he made mention, it wasn't like the watch overheated. It was just his skin's reaction to, I guess, the glass and the metal underneath, right?
Could have been that,
but, so I'm like thinking to myself, like nothing is, is safe at this point, and I don't want to lose a hand. Like, I'm type 2 diabetic. I get an injury. It's like 3 times worse for me on that injury for healing and stuff like that. So, but I mean, the point I'm making with that is like, that's how regular consumers are when they see stuff like this and they begin to panic. Like, remember the Note 7?
Oh yeah.
Everybody was afraid of it. I mean, they went so far as like Samsung making it to where the phones would never connect to a carrier network ever again, to disable it, to force people to turn them in and get something else because they were trying to take them out of the market. And I'm like, this could create that kind of panic.
Oh so yeah, no, well, for sure. I mean, if you're comparing it to the, the Samsung, what was it, the 7, the
Note 7.
Note 7, yeah, like, that thing, people were going into airplanes, and the phone, catching fire, blowing up on an airplane. So definitely, I could see why, companies like Google and even Apple, right, to some degree, are starting to do things like this now to prevent major accidents or stuff like that from happening, because again, people leave their phones in their bags, their carry-ons, whatever, not or certain devices, buses, vehicles, whatever, you name it, and something like that could happen regardless of the phone. It doesn't really matter if it's the Note 7 or the Pixel 7. It could happen to any of the devices, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I definitely can see why they want to avoid, multi-million-dollar lawsuits from this.
Yeah, which I think, that's, and like you said earlier, the same way that, you made mention of it, that like people are not going to like that the batteries are getting throttled after so many charge cycles, that is the main concern from most people out there, is that, they're going to experience bad battery life. And it's like they're caught between a rock and a hard place. You either protect people by putting some form of like, gatekeeping to make sure that the phone has a less chance of having a very bad issue happen that can potentially harm a customer, or you throttle down the battery to protect people, but then now you're gonna lose people because they're like, they're gonna have crappy battery. They would rather just go somewhere else. So, not a good place for for Google.
Yep.
I was going into Samsung because I was going to ask you since I got you here,
Yeah.
because you have the Galaxy A36.
Currently, yes.
Okay. Before I go any further, to let everyone else know, if you guys have any questions about the Pixel 6a, the battery issues, plug it into the chat. Don't be afraid, and we'll answer them as we're going along. We are shifting a little bit here because I want to get B-Tech's, his point of view on with the Galaxy A53. Which my question to you is that does your Galaxy A53 have One UI 7?
You mean my A36, not
A36. I have
yeah,
the
I was gonna say
A53.
A53. What? I don't have an A53. I had an A54 at one point, but
I just teleported my phone to your house.
Right.
No. The A36.
I mean, honestly, I regret getting rid of the A54, man. I kind of like that phone, honestly. Let me check. I'm not 100% sure. I know when I excuse the dog barking, by the way, in the background.
No. Let your dog bark. It's all cool. The dog's part of the podcast. I got dogs that bark.
Yeah, I know. They're getting kind of rowdy. They want to go outside. Let me take a look. Software information. It's running One UI's version 7.0, and it's on Android 15.
Yep. Okay. So the reason I'm asking you about that is because like my Galaxy A53 just got One UI 7 Android 15, so it's pretty much up there now.
Cool.
Because our devices are considered mid-range Samsung Galaxies.
Yep.
With Android 15 and One UI 7, when you are maneuvering through things, are you finding it to being choppy or anything like that?
At the at the moment, no, just because I haven't installed like a lot of apps on it,
Yeah.
For it to be like doing it. So the phone, to me, it's still relatively smooth. Like, I mean, I can jump from app to app. Of course, you see it like not too much of a stutter when I'm moving from app to app, but it's for the most part, it seems normal to me.
Okay. Does the A36 take a micro SD card?
This one does not, no. So that's something I mentioned in the unboxing when I unboxed the phone, is that this phone does not have a micro SD card slot, which was a shocker to me because I was like, what? This is a Samsung phone, you know what I mean? Like they all have SD card slots, but this one did not. It did have a SIM card tray, but only a single SIM card tray, not like a dual SIM or anything like that.
Okay.
But
I didn't remember if you mentioned that in your unboxing video, because you go through a lot in your unboxing videos.
Oh yeah.
So it's like the reason I asked that is because
they're long. They're long.
no, that's good. That's good that they're long. You get as much information as you can within the unboxing video, and then we could definitely see a comparison when you come back for your review video and what stayed the same in your opinion and what has changed after you've had some time to use the phone. So that's always a good thing. But the reason I asked that is because like I dropped a video letting everyone know that the Galaxy A53 did get One UI 7.0 Android 15.
Yeah.
Feedback for some people was like, the phone was too choppy for them or stuff like that, which I can say, yeah, it kind of is because of Exynos 1280 chip. However, I did notice, and I know it may be a lot of work for people, but I'm willing to go through the work to get a better experience on the phone. But like the A53 has a micro SD card. So the things that I did to get my A53 to be almost as smooth as my Galaxy S21, I opened it up to where you can move apps to SD because it has that, that feature. So you can move like all your major apps like Facebook and all that, all those really heavy hitters. There is a sacrifice to doing that though, is that when you move like Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and all that, well, not YouTube, you can't, but like any other like TikTok and stuff, you move it to the SD card where it's fully on the SD card. The only sacrifice you're making is that when you launch those apps, it may take like a second or two longer to open compared to if it was on the internal storage of the device. That's like the only sacrifice that you make, but it doesn't cause any choppiness. And then doing more research with the extended RAM, yeah, if you don't have a lot on your internal storage, then it's not going to affect how the phone functions with extended RAM. Even though it's basically virtual RAM added on top of the hardware RAM, you're still able to feel a difference. So That's what I did in my A53 to make it a lot smoother, was extend the amount of RAM that it has through virtual RAM and then move all the crazy apps onto the SD card so it's off the internal storage. So like normally on a 128 gig phone, I probably use about 40 gigs in like, app and all its info. But after moving all the apps that I had, it reduced the amount of internal storage taken down to only 26 gigs used. And then part of that is used for virtual RAM. So my 6 gigs of actual RAM it has kind of moved up to 12 gigs because I added an additional 6 of virtual RAM. And that smoothed out the experience. So that's why I was wondering if the A36 was kind of feeling the same thing. But in your case, you don't have the ability to extend your internal storage, but you should have to extend your RAM. Because I think Samsung's like all come with that.
Yeah, I believe I remember seeing a feature about that. Let me see. These dogs are driving me crazy.
They've come for the Samsung Galaxies.
Give me 1 second. Let me go let these dogs out really quick. 1 second.
Go for it, bro. That's how popular Samsung Galaxy devices are. B-Tech's dogs are coming in for all the info. It's coming in hot. Yes, Michael. Yeah, man, I'm definitely frustrated by the Pixel A series battery stuff. I only Pixel 4a, and I mean, I had already upgraded from it, but still haven't even turned it on since the January because of this. Yeah, no, definitely, man. And shout out to you, Michael, for letting me know about it, commenting in my video about the Pixel 6a being affected, and looking more into it. Yeah, it's very frustrating to know that your device maybe, but then again, if you have the original box of your Pixel 4a, I believe there is an IMEI checker that would tell you if yours is affected. So that leads me to believe that they may be getting batteries from 2 different vendors, and so it could be that it could be with the IMEI checker. It tells them what battery you got from what vendor sold it to Google for their devices, and it will tell you if yours is affected or not. Because you're able to do that with the Pixel 7a, and with the Pixel 6a now, I guess you'll be able to to check. But anyways, welcome back, VTech.
Yeah,
your dogs went crazy for Galaxies.
Yeah, no, for real. So I did look up the feature. It's called RAM Plus, right? And it says RAM Plus uses your phone's storage space to provide virtual memory. Choose more virtual memory to allow apps to stay open in the background. Choose less virtual memory to keep more storage space free. So it gives me 3 options, right? It gives me, and maybe I'll make a video about this. It's going to be 2, 4, and 6. So I guess I have it. I have the app on. I have that specific thing on, and I have it set to 4 gigabytes. So this phone, I believe, out of the box comes with 6 gigs of usable RAM.
Yeah.
So I put 4, making it 10. I guess 10 with the virtual memory, and I guess if I wanted to, I can make it 12 with the 6.
Yeah.
But I leave it at 4. You know what? Let's turn it to 6. But if I change it, it's actually telling me to restart the phone. Wow,
yeah.
So let's do it.
It's got to reboot the phone because it's going to basically going to format your internal drive. Not where it's going to erase any info, but it's just going to format the free space to alleviate 6 gigs for virtual RAM, which is kind of funny though, because I mean you'll be able to tell just a very smidge, be able to tell that it's performing a little better, but they don't show you in that menu setting. They don't show you that it's actually connected. So when you go back in there, your RAM will still say 6 gigs of RAM. It won't tell you 12 gigs or 10 gigs, right? And then show you the difference between the virtual side and the actual hardware RAM. And I'm like, that's something that Samsung needs to incorporate in One UI, is to allow us to see when apps are actually using the virtual RAM or not. Because I would love to know that. I mean, I'm a nerd. I want to know when it's using virtual RAM. I don't want to be guessing. Because then you get kind of alarmed when you see it says that your RAM is completely used up, which
I would like to know, okay, apps like Geekbench, right, or benchmark apps, you know what I mean? I would like to see if there was a difference in performance when using those apps, to see like, hey, like, okay, I'm gonna run 3 different benchmarks on this, and I'm gonna use the extra 2 gigs, 4 gigs, and then 6 gigs, and I want to see if there's a a different result each time.
Yeah, like you definitely want to know. You definitely want to have
Do that
at
right
least a
now.
readout. Like some sort of stats, just to be able to read out. Like, I mean, I know that was it nothing devices also has RAM boost, so you can incorporate more like virtual RAM on top of the hardware RAM that you have on it. So which is, I mean, I've never really had to on the Nothing device, but like on Samsung mid rangers, yeah, obviously with the A53, I have the virtual RAM turned on. On my S21, I don't. Uh, that phone is, for as old as it is, it's still butter.
Mhm.
I like using it, but I probably won't be taking it with me this coming weekend. Because I'm heading up to Vegas for 2 days
Oh wow.
this coming weekend. So Saturday morning, I drive up to Vegas, and I'll be there from Saturday until Sunday night. It's an anniversary. It's my wife's and I's 16th anniversary.
Nice. Well, enjoy yourself, man. Hey, I mean, I was gonna say what's happened in Vegas recently. I'm not even sure. Like, obviously, I think they had like that big gaming convention, but I don't know if it was,
I have no idea.
yeah,
All I know, I'm gonna be there. Probably hit a couple of casinos,
yeah.
and I don't know. Probably have like 1 or 2 drinks with my wife. Walk the Vegas Strip. Take pictures
Oh
for
yeah, take a
sure.
picture of the Eiffel Tower, the
Oh, I will.
wannabe Eiffel Tower.
I'll definitely take pictures of that. I'm actually, so like one of the things I'm doing is I have the T-Mobile line that Brandon is letting me use. So I have that installed on my Pixel 9a. So I am going to do some speed tests in Vegas with the T-Mobile Go 5G plan versus Google Fi. So that video is coming next week, and I'm going to be doing a lot of like photo shoots and videos in Vegas, and kind of putting a video together to show people the 9A's camera capability. So that yeah, so a lot of photos, lots of stuff, and just really also just kind of relaxing, letting my wife relax and de-stress from work.
Oh yeah, for sure. Y'all as parents need a break every now and then, also, man.
Yeah, in her case, it's more of just like work has stressed her out really bad.
Hmm.
So, but yeah, that's what I'm gonna be doing. I may take the Galaxy S21. I may just grab one of the data only SIM cards from Google Fi and just throw it in
Mhm.
there and take it. I'm not sure yet. But I did order me something today.
Mhm.
I pulled the plug on it, and I love my wife because she's like, "Hey, it's like Father's Day just passed. Like they got me a Death Note hat for Father's Day. I was
Oh, I
really
saw that
excited
one.
for
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I love it. And then she's all like, "You get one more gift." She's like, "You can get a new smartwatch."
Oh.
I'm like, okay, well, I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I went on Google Fi. I looked. I could have gotten the Pixel Watch 3, but I decided not to get that. I decided to go with the second gen, the Pixel Watch 2.
Okay.
Um, it's right now it's like $299 for the watch for the LTE model.
Mm.
And so like yeah, I ordered it today from Google Fi, and they're like, it'll be delivered between the 24th, or the 23rd and the 24th of June. I'm like, okay, cool. When I get back from my little quick trip out of town.
I'm surprised you actually haven't gone with an Apple Watch yet. Yet.
Um, so I'll probably end up getting one of those a little bit later. I think what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
like an
do,
SE or something like that.
I'm actually waiting for when the iPhone 16e comes down in price. Like
Yeah.
that is the phone that I'm going for later this year as an upgrade for my iOS devices, to go for the 16e.
Yeah. My
And I think
niece
I'm
got one recently. I'm
yeah.
jealous. Yeah. Yeah. I'll get to see it because she's gonna come down in a couple of days. I think they're coming on Sunday, so I'm gonna get to look at her phone and mess around with it a little bit.
I just snatch it and take it into your room. Just be like, I'll give it back to you in like
Like
an hour.
let me do
See
like
some
a ten
B-roll
minute
footage.
review. 10-minute review. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, no, it's her personal device, so I wouldn't want to. You know.
you don't have to like show her personal stuff.
Oh
Just
yeah.
the body of the phone. Like shoot B-roll footage of it, right?
Oh yeah. Maybe.
And
Well,
and
she probably would let me, honestly.
Yeah, and then you know you don't show anything personal, like you don't go into any of her apps and nothing of that stuff. I mean, home screen probably about the farthest you can go, and then as you're playing with it, like off camera, right? If you're messing around with it and you have your feeling about the device, then you just put it all together and just voice over how you felt using it, and use the B-roll footage to give people the visuals, and boom, you got an iPhone 16e review.
Maybe, like I said, we are going to be busy beaching it up and whatnot. So we'll see. I think I'm going to take the Samsung A36 with me to get some video and stuff like that while I'm out there as well. So we'll see how that goes.
Oh yeah, that'll be freaking cool as hell. Like, see, I'm interested in that because I am possibly deciding, because I'm still nervous about Helium Mobile and if they might actually close out my line. And if they do, I already told my daughter that she's gonna join my Google Fi family plan. So they have the A36 on Google Fi, and I was thinking that if I bring her to Google Fi, that's probably the phone that I'm gonna order for her to have, just to upgrade her. So like, yeah, definitely want to see, because she likes taking photos and stuff like that too. She's like heavy into that. Um, so I would like to see, like, you know, the camera quality, video quality, that type of stuff. Recording in the various different settings, and also, you know, what kind of, you know, fun functions does it have? Because like my A53, it has the Snapchat filters, even though you don't have Snapchat installed on the phone. Like Samsung has a good partnership with Snapchat, so they put in the filters, and you can take photos with the main camera.
Okay.
So let's see if like the A36 has something like that, or just, you know, just basically the camera quality is the most important thing. Seeing how it looks, because today you can get a really good photo from mid-rangers. Like, it still blows my mind how good cameras have gotten in the mid-range scene over the last 5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's like, you know, you really can't go and be like, oh, hey, that photo quality on whatever. Like, no one's going on Instagram and being like, oh man, that photo quality on that is like really bad. You know what I mean? Because they could be still, you know, they could be shooting with older devices like a 4A, or you know, something more modern like the 9A, or you know, the one I have, which is the A36, or you know, even an older iPhone like, you know, an iPhone 12, right? For instance, I mean, and I need to also take pictures of this the new mobile device that I got, right? I just really haven't, you know, I've just been working a lot, dude, honestly. So I haven't really gone out and just tried to take pictures with these devices, man, and video as well. But I know the A36 shoots in 4K, so I definitely want to, you know, get that 4K footage, edit it, and, you know, just, you know, upload it on the channel and see what it looks like for you guys.
Yeah, eventually I'm going to test out the S21 recording in 8K, but I do need a video editing software.
Oh yeah,
that can handle it, because like right now I've been using the, you know, CapCut for PC.
I think Power Director supports 8K. If I'm not 100% sure.
But is it behind a paywall, or is it like is it for on the free version, or do you have to purchase like?
I have the paid version, so I'm not 100% sure on that, man. Honestly, yeah, I pay for I pay for the yearly subscription, I think so. But from what I remember, you can edit in 8K. But if not, then I would just upload. I would just try to take like at least like a 5-minute continuous video and just upload it raw like that without any editing. I did that with my my Motorola Think phone, and it definitely looked weird. I'll tell you that much on YouTube. I think there's a video out there somewhere for and I think that was the only time I ever like took 8K video on that device. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna ever do this again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's so weird because like, I mean, I would love to just like upload it directly from the phone. The only thing is because like on my little journey in, you know, learning the whole YouTube stuff to better the channel, you know, one of the things I did pick up on is that, you know, it's always better to upload from your PC, because, you know, before you upload your video, if you rename the video title, like say like you did a video about the Galaxy A36 camera capabilities, right? And so, you know, you title the file of the video based on the title that you're going to title it when you upload it. It actually makes it faster for people to find it on YouTube, especially through Google search, because the file name matches the title. And it's like, it's so weird because even if you do it on your phone, like if you go into, like a file app and you rename your video, like, Galaxy S21 8K video test, and you upload it through the YouTube app, it doesn't put the file name on its server. So it's like its name of the video file is still like 00185612-331111111, and it's like someone Google searches that, it makes it harder for the search to find that video. It really has to rely on the tags and on the title of the video being strong enough to be recognized. So like I put that theory to the test, and it's been helping on my videos. So like now I upload directly from my PC always, and I always name the video file that's the Final Cut version to whatever I'm going to title the video or similar to it. So that way the title and the file name matches, and it makes it easier to find on YouTube and on Google search.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm really trying to work this because like my channel is in danger of dying.
Oh man, same.
It's gone way down, and so like I already made a promise to myself, I gotta push and get it back up. If it's not back up by the end of December, it means that it's a full answer from everyone that no one really cares for my videos, and so I should just hang it up at that point.
Right.
And so I give it till December of this year. And if that happens, then the whole channel is going to be reformatted to something else, blogging or whatever the hell I choose it to be, but it won't be tech.
You're pulling a John Cena over here and being like, I'm leaving with the belt. So that's it.
Yep.
I get it. No worries.
Yeah. Well, one thing I won't do is I won't be like John Cena, be like, the level of disrespect is awful. For sure. People have their time, and like I've been doing this since 2010. You've been around the same time doing this alongside me, so it's almost like as if like today's generation just prefers something different, which is something that is unnatural to me. I can't make videos the way young creators today make videos. I can't do it that way. I feel like it's unnatural for me. And I get people that always have something to say, like, oh, you should do this in your video or add that in your video or shoot your videos like this. And it's like, good ideas. I'm getting to know what you like as far as content. But if I do it that way, then I don't feel like me. Then it doesn't feel natural. And then it just feels fake as hell. And I can only do things my way. I could take suggestions of what topics to talk about. But how to shoot a video, how to edit, how to do all that stuff, like I can only do it my way. I can add things that may make it better, but I can't completely change my personality. That's something I can't do. So, and I think that's what really makes the channel suffer now, because most people I know today love short form content. They like it quick and fast. And it's like, okay, I could do shorts, but the money that I've made on YouTube for my kids, that's depleting. And this money goes to them for them to get the things that they need or want, aside from what I make on a paycheck and what my wife, makes. But today, everything's so expensive that majority of what we make at jobs goes to bills and food. What was it? My wife was telling me the other day, she was like, it would be great if she could get on welfare, but she and I make way too much to ever even get on that. I'm like, yeah, it would be nice to catch a break, because we're not on welfare. We're not on any government assistance program. Everything comes out of our pocket. So we don't get that little leeway that, some people are able to take advantage of. And this YouTube money, it was my way of like taking my kids out in that month. Like, okay, we're going to go to the movies and watch this movie, and we're going to go to the water park for this, or, you guys want new drawing notebooks or something, it goes towards that. And that's starting to dry up. And when you try to do that on shorts, YouTube, the AdSense doesn't pay very well with shorts. Like, it's like pennies.
Unless you get like 10 million views or something like that.
Yeah, like you have to consistently hit 10 million views. And it's like, I probably could hit that, but it would probably take me maybe 3 or 4 years based on my personality to even be liked to that point to get 10 million views per short, It's just, the sun is setting. On Aloha Android, the sun is setting, it's setting fast. And like, I feel so sad because I'm like, I've been doing this for so long. Like, what do I do after when it's done? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll probably just vlog, or maybe I'll switch up and just like start working on my car or something and start recording videos on that. But then there's a lot of people on
Hey,
the car side.
hey, the car YouTube channel game is still, is still always an option. I know. I think I had mentioned that to you a while back, but I mean, I understand that, man. Like, switching things up a little bit, it's understandable.
Yeah, so I have like till the end of the year to fully make that decision. Until then, like I'm already half. That's why I said like the year's gone by so fast. I've already gotten halfway through the year. This year's going by so quick. Pretty soon, I'm gonna blink an eye. It's gonna be December.
Oh
And
yeah.
you know, and I don't want to bite anybody else. You know what I mean? Like I've always talked about mobile smartphones and then prepaid carriers. Like I don't want to dip into doing a lot of speed tests and 5G. Tech talk. That's just not me. Especially I'm not like I wouldn't consider myself not even 50% knowledgeable in that. Right? Like I only know like I would consider the top icing of the cake. Couldn't tell you guys what gear is on the tower nearby me, if it's Nokia or Ericsson or Samsung. Couldn't tell nobody what it is. I could research it, but then I don't know. I just can't do it. I can't rip on Sneed's side of the tech space. I'm not super heavy into computers like Linus Tech Tips them, and so I don't go on and talk about PC builds and things like that. I'm trying out AI, but
You should do like a cheap PC build one of these days. I did it one time and it wasn't that bad, honestly.
well, maybe like when I'm ready to upgrade, well, I do need to upgrade. So maybe when I have like the money to upgrade a PC, maybe I might just build one and then share my adventures of having to build it. But the other thing that I could really tap into is, just having fun with AI and showing people what you can do with AI, which I did one. I haven't done another one yet. May do one maybe next week. I keep putting it off. I don't know why. I just keep putting that off.
Maybe make another channel just dedicated to AI videos, maybe.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Or I could just completely convert this. So, like, that's the thing. Like I said, like if I convert this channel to something completely different, I mean, I'm gonna be MIA for like 30 days solid.
Yeah.
To get the algorithm off my back, so then that way I can come back and just have the algorithm push me for a totally different subject.
Right. I know Latrell had mentioned doing that for his channel. I don't know if it worked or not, but I know he said he stopped posting for like a month just to reset the algorithm, I guess.
Yeah, I've been hearing from like a lot of different YouTubers that give advice on content creating and stuff, and a lot of them do say the same thing. Like, when you stop posting, because when there's no activity on your channel for 30 days, the algorithm stops looking at your channel, which allows you time to come back and have the algorithm pick you back up, but it looks at you in a different limelight because your subjects are completely different. So I may have to do that if I decide to switch it up and just completely talk about AI, which would still kind of keep me in the tech space, because it goes over smartphones too, right? Gemini, Galaxy AI, Apple Intelligence. So it would just be more focal on that. I could do photography, but I think there's a lot of photographers that give like smartphone photography tips, like Alter Tech, like he's one of them.
Oh, yeah.
That I support. Yeah. So I don't want to do like the photography thing. Maybe AI, but like the AI would only be very minimal, because I'm not gonna like teach people how to crack someone's code to break into their bank. But like I'll show somebody how to make a game, or how to do flashcards, whatever, learn languages, or just like create like a mini arcade of just fun AI built apps would be like the idea. But then Chris Perillo does that, and so I don't want to step on his toes.
Well, I'm sure he's not the only one that does stuff like that. And
oh yeah, no, he's not the only one.
Yeah, I mean, just I would just take what I learned from other content creators and be like, okay, I learned this from this person, so you know what I mean. Like, give them the credit, obviously, but also be like, hey, this is also what I learned, or this is maybe there's something that you learned that wasn't in their video specifically.
Yeah.
you know, you could just add on to it, right? There's always room for growth when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, that's the reason why like my videos have been different lately. Like I've been doing more B-roll footage and voiceover than I have actually been in front of the camera. I just been really just trying something different, and just maybe like if I'm not on camera, seeing how people kind of like resonate with those types of videos. Like, do they like those more, or do they rather want to see me on camera and talk? Like everything that I've been doing in the last 6 months has been a test to see how people respond.
I've noticed.
So yeah, it's like, you know, and I'm continuing the test. I'm continuing to figure out what works for people, you know. And we'll see what happens. Like I've been, like I give my own videos a watch. I don't know if you do that, but I do, beginning to end. I give it a like, and then I also post a comment now and I pin it. And I guess like the way that the algorithm with YouTube works, from my understanding from just studying it and everything, is like, you know, if you're only uploading videos and then you're disappearing off YouTube, the algorithm doesn't like that. But if you are posting videos and if you watch your own video and you begin an engaging comment and pin it to your video, and then you go and watch other people's videos and give them the thumbs up and comment on their videos, the algorithm likes that from creators. And so it then starts to try to push your stuff. And I'm like, you know, why can't someone just make, you know, a 12-step guidebook for old guys like me to say, hey, this is how you make content today? Because we never dealt with algorithms like way back in the day. We never dealt with algorithms.
Yep.
It wasn't that big of a deal. It was just, you know, we put videos up and YouTube would cycle them. People would find them from related videos, and that's how they were found. We never had an automated system to say, okay, we're going to push your videos here, push it there. Like, oh man.
I mean, it's crazy that like it was so much easier to get views back then than now.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, people, I don't know. Like, I don't know if a lot of people can relate so much, especially the younger creators in the tech space. I mean, you know, they really have it hard nowadays. They really do. You really have to be liked by the algorithm. And other creators are like, don't blame the algorithm for stuff, blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, yeah, you know, but when you're as old as, you know, as I am and how long I've been making content, it's not blaming the algorithm. It's just stating the obvious. You got your video circulated better back in the day when it was always for the related tags. Now it's like you have to have related tags and the algorithm has to like you. Like, oh man, sucks nowadays, but you still keep pushing on, still keep putting out videos.
Yeah, that's all we can do.
Yeah, and you know, if people watch them, they watch them, and if they don't, they don't. On to the next video thing. That's been my routine.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't see as like, you know, one of my videos only getting like a couple hundred views as a failure, because like I always think of it like, okay, like, hey, 200 views, like that. I mean, think of 200 people in a room, right? You know, that's a lot of people, you know, waiting in line at a, you know, at a WWE event, or like, you know, some of my videos have like 5,000 views, and some people are like, oh yeah, no, that's nothing. I'm like, bro, that's like more than what you know, AEW gets on a Wednesday night. Like, in person. So you know.
Oh man, I mean, shots fired.
Shots fired, right? Yeah, you know, I think my top video has close to 600,000 views, which, you know, that video has not changed as far as like much since it hit 500k views. I'm barely like at 570k. So that specific video, it's like, okay, like, you know, it's still the top of my fucking, you know, channel as far as views go. So I'm like thinking about it like, oh, that's more than Wembley Stadium over there in for AW and whatnot. So I just like to think about it like that. Even though, like, yes, I posted that video like in 2017, right? And it's been like, you know, almost 10 years since I posted that video. You know, I mean, it's all about the long game also, right? You know, I think about like the amount of views that I get over time, not so much at once, because like I know it works different for some people. Like Mr. Beast, obviously, you know, one video he posts gets like 100 million views, right? You know, and he's one of the youngest billionaires to date in the world. So I'm just like, you know, I'm just like, all right, whatever. You know, they obviously, you know, they go for the cheap clicks, right? I'm not about that, right? I'm about people that actually like want to see and like watch my content. You know, not just for rage bait or clickbait, whatever you want to call it, right? You know.
Yeah.
But you know, again, we're in a different space when it comes to YouTube. I'm not so much for like entertainment than some people are, right? You know, I think that's a lot of people went that route entertainment wise, right? They went,
Yeah.
you know, for the, I feel like not to call it bad, right? Easy views, right? Where it's like, you know, obviously, you know, they have a very nice thumbnail to click with the actual title of the video, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not like that. You know, I'm not a fan. I used to try to get fancy with my thumbnails, and I kind of just gave up on it because there was like, you know, a lot of times where I took a lot of time with my video editing and, you know, title of the videos and thumbnails and tags and this and that, and I really did not notice much of a difference. If I could be 100% honest, like I tried it for like a year, and I didn't notice much of a difference as far as like viewerships. In fact, some of the videos got like worse views than the ones that I didn't try on, right?
Yeah, that's weird.
That's why I don't really like. I mean, yes, I'll do my best to get like a thumbnail, like to be as close to whatever the description I have as possible. But like, I don't go and photo edit it with like the glowing shit around, you know, the thing and whatnot with like, you know, with big lettering on the fucking, how do you say, you know, like on the thumbnail, like, oh, you know, I went this far, or, you know, I ran this many miles, you know what I mean? Like, you know, or I threw this phone down a rabbit hole. Let's see what happens. You know, what happened, you know?
Oh, yeah, the clickbait titles.
The clickbait titles, right? Which, you know, of course, you know, people, you know, get away with it, and I get it, right? You know, I call them cheap views, but, you know, like I said, you know, that's not me. I just don't do that, you know. Like, if I'm going to post a video of a Samsung A36 unboxing, that's the title I'm going to put. Samsung A36 unboxing. I'm not going to go and put like, oh, the cheapest budget phone under, you know, $300 will surprise you. And then like who the hell is looking up titles like that? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the fuck, dude. Like, I think it's hilarious though.
I mean, I'm always scared of like the clickbaity titles, just because I feel like that if I ever attempted to do that, like it works for some people. People will get clickbaited into clicking on someone's video, and then when they're watching the video, they're like, "Oh man, this is fucking clickbait," but it's kind of interesting, so they forgive them. I feel like with me, I would get flamed so bad. Like people would be like, "What the?" and just blow me in the freaking comments, and I'm like, I don't even know if I can take that type of rejection from people. Like, okay, you know, like my apologies.
No, I feel you, man. Don't worry.
So I don't do it. I just don't do it at all. Red Magic 10s Pro. What about it?
Isn't that a phone made by Red? Like that's a camera company, no?
I don't know if it's related to them specifically.
Yeah.
What's my thoughts on it? I can't give you a thought on it because I don't have any of the Red Magic devices, much less do I use them. Yeah, so it'd be odd for me to give you my thought on it if I don't use it and don't know much about it. Honestly, you know, appreciate you asking though, but I just don't want to give you anything that, you know, if I haven't used it, I can't tell you. That's always been my philosophy on this channel. And then I'll be speaking out of just reading text on a computer about it, and then that just doesn't feel natural. I got to use a phone. Every now and then I may talk about like if a phone has a spec that we rarely see in a smartphone, then yeah, I may comment on that, but I won't give you a full-on thought of a phone. But hey, thanks for asking though. I appreciate it.
All right, sorry about that. I had to step away for a couple seconds to let the dogs in again.
All right. Say Samsung and see if they run into the room and start like barking.
Samsung.
No noise.
No, they're over here panting, wanting water. They were out there for like 30 minutes, and they're over here like dying. I guess it's a little humid outside, but I'm like, come on, guys, that wasn't that bad.
How hot is it right now over there?
According to my computer, it's 83 degrees. But like 83 in Texas heat can be, you know, different because of the humidity. So, you know, 83 could feel like 90 on a regular evening, right? But that's not that bad. It says humidity is 74%.
Ooh, wow, yeah, that'll make a difference. It'll be 83, and you probably will soak your shirt if you were like super physical outside. Like,
yeah, if you're just like walking for like a good 10 minutes, you'll be sweating. Trust me.
That's the only thing I like about here in Arizona is that the humidity is low, so it's dry heat. But that's also the most dangerous thing because you wouldn't even really, think that you're getting severely dehydrated,
Yeah, you'll get burned outside really easily with that also.
and then yeah, you'll drop. Like there's like already we had two hikers, one passed. They went hiking like at 10 in the morning, and by that time it was already like 103 degrees and climbing. And shoot, and it's like it's always happens here. Like if you Google search any news from Phoenix, Arizona about hikers, getting heat stroke and passing out, it always happens to a hiker when they're like 30 to 40 feet away from their car. Like they're almost back to their car and they
Yeah.
just collapse down. And it's like, man, that sucks. Like this is like I tell people all the time when they come here, like, don't go hiking during the day. I know it's kind of like scary at night because you got coyotes and all kinds of stuff roaming around in the dark. Bring a good, flashlight with you. Bring you a stick or something that you can use as a weapon. If you really need to get a hike in, and go hiking in the evening time from like 5 p.m. till about 8 p.m. Yeah, always carry an electrolyte drink. Exactly. Always carry, something that's to keep yourself hydrated, but also make sure your physical conditioning can handle it. Like, not only bring a drink to hydrate yourself, but make sure you are drinking a lot of water. Even when you're at home, like, drink water. Just drink it. Keep yourself hydrated so when you head out there. But here, you really shouldn't go hiking during the day, like, unless you're training for the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only go hiking early in the morning, like at 4 in the morning when it's still dark out until sunrise, or at sunset. That's when I'll go hiking, but like not in the day at all. No way.
Oh yeah. I mean, same. I mean, just Texas heat is horrible, especially during the day. I would say between like 11 and 4 o'clock are usually like the worst times. So
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Oh my god. I can only imagine though with like the humidity, because like after living like in Arizona for a while, every time I go back home to Hawaii to visit family, the humidity there is so bad that I'm just like looking at myself like it's just sweat dripping down. Like what the hell happened to me? And I'm like, I look like I got out the shower, and I hate that.
no,
Like,
for real, man. Yeah, the sweat, man. Like, I mean, I work. There's some days where I'm working outside, like at my job in retail, and man, it doesn't even take more than a couple minutes for me to start sweating. Usually, so you gotta. I mean, believe me, man. I'm drinking those electrolytes and I'm staying hydrated as much as possible.
bro, it's crazy. The humidity is so bad. That's the only thing I'm like happy that we don't have here is humidity. But it's also weird too because we just start. So like, I always laugh at this because people around my city that like I'm friends with, I talk to, they're like, yeah, today's the first day of monsoon season and it's really hot today, and I'm like, I have family in Thailand, so monsoons to me are like where it rains consistently every day for like 30 days or
Yeesh.
25 days in a row.
Yep.
And here it's like they call it monsoon season because they just it's the time of the year where they actually get some moisture. Like maybe 5 days out of the entire summer months, they got rain. And
Mhm.
I'm like, that's not a monsoon. That's the earth spitting on you and teasing you.
Shit.
Yeah, we rarely get rain over here. Rarely. I mean, like if you go like on threads and you search up topics for like Arizona, one thing people will notice from people who live in Arizona is they go to social media to record rain and upload it. And other people are like, they're used to rain because they get it more frequent in the year. We don't get it here. So it's like when it happens, it's like Haley's comet that you got to record it. I'm like,
I mean, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's the same down here where I live, but it could be like the rain does take a while. Sometimes we'll see, it'll be months before we see any like drop of water. So yeah, no, it's
yeah,
like recently we got like a storm system, and okay, they just come out of nowhere, man. Like I don't know if I told you, man. Like my car got like hailed on about a month ago, and I just got that car, dude. So I already have like hail damage on my hood and on the back of my trunk lid, man. So I mean, it kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Speaking of cars, like I know my wife, she's really depressed today because that accident that we got rear-ended by a jackass in May. Uh, their insurance adjuster came out and looked at the Kia today, and
Mhm.
it's like bad news for us because they got to total the vehicle.
Really?
Yeah, because
What?
Kia Souls,
Yeah.
the body is one piece with the frame, and there is frame damage
Oh
according
man.
to the adjuster. So I told my wife I'm gonna take it to another shop and have them appraise the vehicle and check the frame
Yeah.
just to be sure. But I'm like, okay, I already know, based on the car loan that we have for the car, because we didn't have the best of credit. So um the amount that we owe is not going to be fully covered for the payout for the totaled vehicle. So
Yeah.
we're still going to have to owe on the Kia and have to try to get into a new car. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, I'm so pissed off because I'm like, told my wife, I was like, get get the accident report and let's just sue the guy for the remaining balance because I wanted to double check if she had gap insurance. And I was
Mhm.
like, when she signed the deal for the car and everything, did she get gap insurance? Because that would take care of the remaining balance that's owed. She's like, she's not sure. I'm like, go through all your paperwork because I know she has warranty on the vehicle. I'm like, check to see if you got gap coverage. Above anything, see if you have gap coverage
Yeah.
because then you don't want to like have to pay the remaining balance of whatever that they want to offer to the dealership as the payout for the total damage. And she's really upset because she's like, she has to give up the car. So I'm like, yeah, if it's got frame damage, you don't want to hold on to it because that's definitely going to mess the suspension as you're driving it day to day. Um,
Oh yeah. The
so,
tires
so
will wear out a lot quicker
mm-hmm.
if there's any type of issues with the suspension. Also, right? I mean, the alignment will never feel the same. Also, she could
Yeah,
be swerving left and right all the time while she's driving.
yeah. I mean, like for the most part, like we had after you know we had the outer tie rod replaced on the left side of the suspension. We got an alignment done and everything. So and for the most part, it's been okay. But then we got rear-ended, and so I've been watching like the tires closely to see like how fast the treads are being eaten, and it's like I get what the adjuster's saying. I don't like. I tell my wife, don't always go off the other person's adjusters like recommendations right away
Yeah.
because to them, not only do they want to just total the vehicle out so they don't have to try and assess the amount of repairs, but they also want to give the lowest payout. Like, and it's like, nah, So she agrees with me. Friday, we're gonna go get like the appraisal done on the vehicle,
Mhm.
have things checked out, and then when that person's insurance calls with the offer to try to get our dealership's information so they can make a payment to them to total the vehicle out. If their number doesn't match what at least close to what my appraiser is going to appraise it for, then yeah, now we're going to be in a battle.
Sheesh. Well, best of luck there, man. I mean, like, knock on wood, right? I've never been in like a vehicle accident where I've had to have those issues, right? Luckily, like, I mean, my last car did have gap with the extended warranty. I did not buy gap on my new vehicle though, so I did buy extended warranty, just in case like the engine or something craps out on it, right? But I didn't buy gap on it this time around, so that's why I'm just like, oh fuck, you know what I mean? Like, like the hell damage when I had it, I was like, God, I was like, man, like, of course this has to be happening to me right now, you know what I mean? So, um, it's always good to buy gap when you get it, if you can afford it, of course, right? Because gap's not always
Yeah,
it's not always going to be cheap, especially on a new vehicle. I don't know if they offer gap on used vehicles. It depends, I guess, if it's certified pre-owned or whatever, depending on the dealership you're
yeah,
buying from. But like for me, like I've always bought in new. I think I've only ever bought used from a dealership once, and never again, right? I think after the experience I had with the used vehicle, like I was just like, nope, I'm never going to do that again. So
Yeah.
So I just went like strictly now. If I buy vehicles, it's gonna be brand new. Like and that's because I almost traded in the car I have now for like a used, program car that had maybe like 13,000 miles on it. Which I probably would have been happy with. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like it's better to go new. Just for warranty
Yeah.
purposes and. Obviously, make sure you have a good down payment, or you get the payment you want, right? Don't let the salesman bully you into signing off on stuff, right? Just because you want to get out of there, right? So, tell them, hey, I'll come back another day. It's all good. If you don't have the car, oh well, not a big deal. There's
Yeah.
going to be cars. You'll have more than one car, believe me.
Yeah, you gotta know how to deal with all that type of stuff. It's like, I was telling my wife because she's like, if they, if they take the car and everything after the deal's done, and you know, she's like looking at a Dodge Journey because she really likes those cars. But
Yeah.
I know those cars because we had one before, and it's not really good on gas.
Yeah.
So I told her if she goes and gets a Dodge Journey, the Armada, because it's fully like owned out. That car is going up for sale, and what I get from it, I'm putting it on a down payment for a freaking gas-friendly vehicle because I can't have two vehicles that are gas guzzlers. Man,
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I understand. You need at least one that you're going to be able to only have to fill up once a week or once every couple of weeks, man. Like when I filled up the other day in my Nissan Sentra, man, and I only put $21 and it filled it up with $21.
oh,
So I was
shit.
like, damn, it's only a 10-gallon tank, but if you can get yourself like a used Honda Accord or maybe like a Toyota Camry or something like that, or if you can invite like a little RAV4, if I know you have a family, so you might need like a smaller SUV, maybe like an older Honda. What is it? Not a Pilot, but what do they call Honda? It's like a little SUV. It's kind of like the RAV4 from Toyota, but it's not.
Oh yeah. I know.
CHR or an H, something like that. I forget what the hell they're called.
Yeah.
CRV or CVR or something like that. Honda CRV. There you go. So if you can get yourself like a little something that's maybe a little bit older, but maybe what year is this? 2025? Maybe like a 2015 or something like that. It's a Honda. It's gonna last you forever anyway. So
You are very welcome, Joys of San Joaquin Valley. Glad that you looked into it and you got it for your Samsung, so you're good to go. Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm just bummed out because it's like, I mean, yeah, we're always gonna get shafted by the insurance company because that's the insurance company's job is to get you to obviously pay whether it's every 6 months or monthly for car insurance. But then their job is to pay the least amount of money out. It's like they're collecting all this money, and then they try to find reasons of why not to pay out or cancel. Because like right now, besides the Kia had being involved in an accident, what was it the other day? Our own insurance company actually gave us a deadline ultimatum. We had to get all these things of the Kia sent to them because they know that my son who's over 18 lives in the home. So like now we're having our insurance rate was going to go up another $76 because he is an adult in the home, even though he doesn't have a driver's license. They still want to charge us more just because he lives in our house. And I'm like, when has insurance companies been able to increase your premium because of an adult living in your home who's not licensed?
Right.
And then they told my wife, they're like, they kind of explained it, and I was listening in on it. And they're like, yeah, and if you have another child who's about to turn 15, and then they count too on your policy, we would have to increase your. And I'm like, wait a minute, a 15-year-old with no driver's license, you're gonna raise my rate again?
Yep.
It's like she's not old enough to move out on her own. So why the hell are you guys even messing with my wallet? It's like there's just all these little sneaky crap that insurance companies do just to get more money out of you. But then when you need the coverage, it's like they try to find every little way to not pay out. And I'm like, they have to, my opinion, they have to reconsider the entire auto insurance industry. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are going electric bikes electric scooters to get around.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need expensive auto insurance on that. Like you can get, regular, theft insurance on your bike or on your scooter. Like what was it? Lemonade is one of the ones where you could insure all your tech items, and you can put electric bikes on there. So I think that's why people are going that route. They're starting to use Waymos, and Uber and Lyft are more popular in that sense. People don't want to pay the high insurance premiums, get shafted by the insurance companies, and then all at the same time too get hit with all these weird things like you have a 15-year-old in your home, you're paying more. Like get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah, that's crazy. I had never heard anything like that, man.
Oh yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy, dude. I'm like, that's probably like one of the benefits, of you not having a family just yet.
Yeah,
Because
right.
you don't gotta worry about that type of stuff. It's just you that you gotta worry about.
They're gonna charge me more for my dogs now, I guess. Shit, who knows?
Yeah, leave it to the insurance companies to try to find every angle to take your money so they can spend it. And maybe that's what I think the insurance companies do. Like the owners of like Geico and all them, the founders of that company, they live off of your money, your monthly payments to them. They live off of it. And that's probably why they are always so quick to just try to not pay out. It's because it's like they think they're taking it out of their pocket, and in reality, you paid into the system. Same way like with Social Security and stuff like that. It's crazy.
Oh yeah, no, it's nuts. Yeah, we don't even want to get into that. Hell no.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, I really can't get into it because I kind of went over what I should. I actually want to go eat dinner, so I'm gonna start to cut it out right now because I need to eat.
Oh, no worries, man. It's already past 10 on my end, so I'm ready to shower and get in bed soon.
Yeah. So, anyways, for everyone that joined in a little bit later, if you want to hear what I had to say about the Pixel A series battery issues, if you want to hear what BTech had to say on it, go back and replay it. Catch the beginning of it. That's where you'll get it. It's like the first 30 minutes of the live stream before we switch topics. I appreciate everyone for coming in, commenting, hitting the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Subscribe to BTech's channel. Please do that. If you're a wrestling fan, subscribe to the Deathlock podcast. Help us reach 100 subscribers. I would truly appreciate it. Any shout outs, closings you want to do?
By the way, we are at 84 subscribers on the Deathlock pod, and our last episode got about like 50 some views, I think, within the first couple of hours, right? So, if anyone wants to go back and watch that last episode, we're talking about Ron Killings, Money in the Bank Aftermath, and more. And just shout out to who should I shout out? Shout out to Mr. E, right? And what else? Who else? Just shout out to the tech community, man. Honestly, I mean, everyone that's still with us after all of these years. Like Tito said, we might have to revamp our channels at the end of the year. My channel is not doing 100% great either after I deleted all my shorts. So, I mean. But I am getting the monetization's kind of like evening out a little bit, you know what I mean? As far as like, how not how much I was making, but like, I was getting less with the shorts than I am now. So
yeah, you can actually test something on the shorts I was going to tell you about. Now that you've deleted all your shorts, and then you've allowed the algorithm to just kind of like figure out that your channel is about long form content rather than short form. I would say you could test it out maybe like once a week on one of your long form videos that you're going to post. Clip like 60 seconds out of that video, maybe or 30 seconds, just right around where like in your video it's very climactic, like people are going to want to hear this. And so when you do that and then you make it into a shorts, and then when you're editing the shorts where it tells you related video, you put the full video as your related video. Apparently it's supposed to help drive traffic to your video, because if they watch that small clip, say like you're talking about the A36 and its cameras, and you're like, the cameras are so good, I would love to show you guys in this video like some samples, but at the main video I have them, they're going to want to see the samples. They just watched your short, you got a view for the short, now they're going to hit that related video and go to your long form and watch your long form to get that. So it's kind of like using it as like the bait to hook them into your long form. You could try that and see if it helps.
Sounds good. I'll definitely look into that. But are Are you uploading it on the same channel though, or are you uploading it on your shorts channel and then again like
No,
doing what you like the same process you did though?
no, same channel. Like, you know,
Oh,
if you want to wait to see, because I'm about to start doing that next week,
okay.
and I can let you know if it's working for me or not. And if it works for me, then you can try it out.
All right.
If
Yeah, I think I'll wait for your experiment to go through first, and then maybe I'll get back into that.
I'm just experimenting with so many stuff. But yeah, anyways, when's the next time you're free to go on the Deathlock?
This Thursday.
Let's do one Thursday, man. I want to talk about this situation with Liv Morgan's injury and all that stuff. Yeah,
we thought it was a work, but I think after watching the replay on the video a couple of times, I'm like, oh no, that was real.
Yeah, there's that. There's Bailey's response about the 4 horsewomen and how she truly feels about them that I want to touch base with, as well as Jey Uso and Cody in their positions in the King of the Ring tournament and where this is going. So we could do that Thursday for sure.
Sounds good. Yeah, we'll probably around the same time then. I would say maybe 1 or 2 o'clock on my time.
Yeah.
See how it goes.
Yeah, set it up and just send me a link. And you guys heard it here. So if you guys are wrestling fans and you want to watch that, it's like, you know, like 1 or 2 his time, about 11 or 12 my time, or 10 or 11 my time. I'm 3 hours behind you, right? Or 2.
Wait, well, it's 10:45 my time right now. It's just about 10.
I'm 2 hours behind you. So if it's like 1 or 2 your time, it's about 12 or 11 my time, like 11 a.m., 12 p.m. my time. I'm 2 hours behind you.
Here, let me send you the channel link for the Deathlock podcast just so you can share it in the comments really quick here.
Oh, yeah, let me grab that.
At least I hope it's not a P-Hub link. I just shared it by accident. Just kidding.
No, I got it right here. I can put it in. Okay, this is the link to the Deathlock podcast. Please go check it out if you're a wrestling fan. We would love to have you there for some dialogue, some conversations, and just some fun. Doesn't matter if you're a hardcore wrestling fan or if you just got into it. I don't care. Come on over and enjoy the show. That's what I say. And have fun and have discussions with us. We're not assholes like that. So, you know, you don't have to know the histories of wrestling. If you enjoy it and you like watching it, come and talk with us. For sure, man.
Yes, sir.
All right, everybody. You guys stay blessed out there. And yeah, I love you guys very much. Be cool and be safe. We'll see you in the next one.